Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back from the MLG studios in New York City. My name is axeltoss, joined by axslav. You're currently watching the Winter Season Showdowns, best of fives, pretty much every single day at 5 p.m. Eastern between the best players in the world to determine who qualifies for the Winter Championship event in Dallas, Texas on March 15th. Before we get into game number 2, you just saw an awesome bumper there from Full Sail University. If you're looking to get involved in the gaming industry, if you feel like you are an effective graphic designer, if you want to learn how to design video games, anything in that area, fullsail.edu/MLG is your source. So go ahead, drop by that website. They'll have you fill in some information about yourself, and then they'll send some information right back at you. So that being said, are you ready for game 2?
I think I am.
Oh.
Are you ready for game 2?
I am. Creator, of course, is up 1-0, so he's well on his way to victory. But he's playing a guy named Nestea. He's not known to give up.
No, Nestea is not one for giving up. This guy is a fighter. I mean, I've actually seen him drag games out like 25 minutes longer than they're supposed to go. And the upcoming map's going to be Whirlwind, which is going to be, I mean, this is like Muteless Playground, so it's perfect for Nestea and his fondness for the beast, I guess you could say.
Yeah, Whirlwind is one of the bigger maps out there, and of course, when we're considering game 1, that's going to be extremely relevant considering what Creator did, right? He went for that 2-base, very fast timing attack, and of course, the more time you have to react to something like that, as a Zerg player, the more potential units you're able to get out to potentially defend against it. And, you know, a longer rush distance helps you do that. So we'll have to see what happens here and see how these players adjust. In the bottom right-hand location, we have the Zerg player who's currently down 1-0, but again, he's not one to give up. He is Nestea from Team IM. His opponent in the top left-hand location is the blue Protoss player, constructing a nice little timing attack there on 2 bases with that mothership core and a few oracles. He is well on his way to winning this best of 5, but again, he's playing against one of the best players in StarCraft 2 Wings of Liberty history. The blue Protoss player in the top left is Creator from Team Prime. Of course, the map, as we said before, is Whirlwind. We haven't seen this that much in the Winter Season Showdowns.
Well, one of the things about Whirlwind is it's used predominantly over in Korea. So when you're talking about the matches between like the European players, for example, quite frequently one of them will veto Whirlwind because they're just not comfortable playing on the map because they don't practice on it very much. And similar, I mean, it's not a map being used as much with the Pro League players as well. So, you know, it's this map that you really expect these ESF guys to just excel at, and that's why we're seeing it now, right? Now we're on ESF week.
Yep, that makes a lot of sense. Ooh, we see Nestea actually hiding his drone. He wants to make a hatchery. He wants to make sure that probe doesn't see the drone going down there, because then the probe will just go to the natural and delay that hatchery as long as possible. Nestea, nice little juke there, able to get that hatchery down without any delay whatsoever. Creator gonna see this, he's gonna say, oh nuts, maybe snap his fingers for a second, but then get right back to his fancy 229 average APM. So nothing too crazy happening here. It's not like we're seeing an early gas from Nestea, not like we're seeing one base play from Creator. Both players intent upon going to that macro game, or so it seems at this point.
It definitely seems that way. Creator even getting a second pylon before Gateway or Cannon really just shows his intention to make a lot of probes. Because, of course, you know, you need those pylons to make probes. And so the earlier you get them, the earlier you can continue probe production after getting your Nexus. Nestea, still no gas. A third hatchery, looks like it's, yep, there it goes, being plopped down right at the 4-minute mark. So he's going to continue in the same vein as the last game. I actually feel that Creator could very well do a similar type of timing. I mean, even though the map's bigger, with using pylons and warp gates, you can still cross the distance, you know, or you can reinforce across the distance very quickly. But that initial time it takes to cross the map with your army is longer. And, you know, in pushes like that, like you hit 10 seconds later, and all of a sudden, instead of like 10 Hydras coming in one by one, they're all sitting there ready to shoot you right as you enter. So it's going to make those timings a little bit harder. Creator, though, he's like he's a timing-based player. Like, that's what he does. He does timings. He normally likes the 3-base timings more, and on a bigger map like this, I think we may indeed see those 3-base timings.
Yeah, I mean, the third seems a little bit easier to take versus at least the map we saw in Game 1. Star Station, of course, the third on that map, its surroundings is very expansive. There's not a lot of ramps near it. Of course, on this map, you've got 2 ramps leading up to that third base. So, as a defender, it's not as difficult to defend. However, because of those ramps, force fields become so instrumental and so important in any engagements on your opponent's, third base. Like, Creator could theoretically just run up here to the third and then just force field Nestea away, and then make it go all the way around to engage, which could be very difficult of course, to deal with. So we'll have to see what Creator goes for, but going for that Stargate opening once again, adding on 2 gases to his natural expansion. Of course, we're going to watch and see if he cuts those probes, but to see if he adjusts. Like, is he going to do another 2-base all-in, or is he just going to tech, maybe make some Phoenixes for harassment, and then, again, as you said, go for that third?
He does have the probe still alive on the outside. Just check to see the third base progression. And as long as that probe stays alive, proxy pylons, there's so many places you can put them down on this map, but he is going for the Phoenixes and he's cranking out probes, so it's more likely, I would say, he's just going to, go for a third base behind some Phoenix harass. And with the extra range that Phoenixes have in Heart of the Swarm, Phoenix harass is much, much more powerful.
Nestea taking 2 gases, and now we're going to take, also starting his lair. Now we're going to take a look at those Overlords, because this is something that Nestea didn't really utilize in the last game, actually sending those Overlords in, but we see Creator revealing his first Phoenix, going to be attacking that Overlord right outside his natural expansion. So, in comparison to last game, we saw him make 3 Oracles and hide all of them until his timing attack began. In this game, going for Phoenix and then showing them immediately and immediately putting down that third base. So expecting his opponent to react to those Phoenixes and using that timing window where his opponent is preparing for potential, potential air harassment to take that third base. And we'll have to see if Nestea can identify this, and more importantly, if he can do anything to prevent it from going up or to delay it.
While there are ramps at third base, if you want to be able to move freely between your natural and third, it's a fairly open area. We can see the Mothership cores guarding that area right now. But that's a pretty good spot for Roaches and Speedians to engage, or even Roaches and Hydranus. If we see Nestea go the same route that he did that last game with that Roach Hydra competition, Creator Prime may have a little bit of a tough time holding on to all of his bases.
Alright, we have 3 Phoenixes heading toward the third base of Nestea. Gonna try to get some drone kills, but there is already a Spore Crawler in that middle line, a Queen there as well, of course. Again, Creator revealed these Phoenixes a little bit ago, so Nestea should be prepared. Look at that, catching some drones in mid-transfer there, so nice spot there from Creator. Getting 2 drone kills already, a third, willing to take some shield damage on the Phoenixes. Doesn't want to take too much damage though, dropping into the yellow, not too bad at all. But if you look at workers killed, up to 4, and we have Nestea going for a Spire, also getting Hydras on the way. I'm interested to see if Nestea just makes like some Corruptors to deal with these Phoenixes, or if he's going for that Mutalisk transition. I'm also interested to see if Creator can spot the Spire.
I'm pretty sure he's going for the Mutalisk transition. He's just going to get a few Hydras to push those Phoenixes out. And then the idea is that Creator's transitioning over to Colossi, and then the Mutalisk come in. And he's doing a good job of trying to hide that Spire beneath all those Overlords. The very important part of going Spire is you can't let the Protoss know you're doing it. And you know what? I don't think Creator's going to find this out, at least for the near future. The Hydras are here. The Phoenixes have to be pulled back. And that Spire is almost done. There's going to be 9, maybe even 10 Mutalisks in production immediately. A 4th base on the way. This is the Nestea that is scary, man. When he gets his Mutalisks out on a big map like this where he can keep expanding into corners and taking over the whole map, this is a scary, scary Nestea. And Creator's going Void Rays and Weapons upgrade for his air.
Wow, that's actually really good for him. Imagine if he put down a second Stargate.
It's good. It's good and bad. Their weapons is awesome because you really want to go Phoenixes versus the Mutalisks. The Void Ray, not so much.
Yeah, of course.
It's not going to be that much good. But the idea is that he wants to go air already, which is going to be a natural counter to the Mutalisk play.
Now, we don't have any Phoenixes or Mutas yet in production. I'm wondering if Nestea is just... Oh, look at that, 2 additional Stargates on the field for Creator as soon as 14 Mutas are in production. Creator is going for mass air play, yet he has not scouted the Spire yet. In fact, he's only scouted Hydras and Queens. What led him to throw these 2 Stargates down? It's just
I think it's just his build. He's going to turn on 3 bases and go heavy air. We talk about how much stronger Void Rays are as they hit a max progression in PvP. It looks like he thinks that's true in PvZ as well. He's going to crank them out. If he can identify the Mutalisk and switch over to Phoenix production, he's going to be in amazing shape. If not, it might be a little dicey, but he can still produce Phoenixes right after those Void Rays.
Alright, he spotted 1 Muta, and he's putting out a Fleet Beacon. He hasn't made any... Okay, now he's making additional Phoenixes. I think he does know exactly what's going on as far as the mutas are concerned. Reacting perfectly, adding on more and more Phoenixes. And this... I don't think this is good at all for Nestea. I mean, he's making all these mutas with the intentions to harass, but with all these Phoenixes that are going to be on the field, 3 at a time, the mutas, they could be completely shut down.
They really can. I mean, Phoenixes, you could kind of work around and micro against mutas, pick them off without getting struck back at Wings of Liberty with 4 range versus 3. Now it's 5 range versus 3. That's doubling the range differential.
He has a flea beacon. He could even get the range upgrade.
He could. Then it's 7 range to 3, and the mutas won't even be able to touch the Phoenixes. But the Phoenixes are out of position.
They are.
They're on the left side, and there's nothing that's natural.
Creator went for a 50-50 chance there, going up the left, hoping to encounter the mutas there, but the mutas going up the right-hand side from Nestea, going to be pursuing this probe line down to the third.
If he loses these pylons, that'll shut off his air production.
Oh my gosh, that's a great point. What a perfect engagement here from Nestea. All the Stargates empowered except for 2. Phoenix is trying to get micro here from Creator, trying to jockey away from those mutas. The mutas going straight to the main base, but 2 Stargates still going to be powered there, and there is the range upgrade in production here from Creator. 2 Void Rays in production as well. A little bit intriguing, but I think he thinks he has enough to deal with the mutas. But look at this, Nestea continuing with the muta production, even though he saw 3 Phoenixes, even though his existing mutas are falling.
I think he's just confident in his ability to micro them. Of course, if you run away from the Phoenix in the Phoenix chase, you can usually turn around and get 1 volley off before they can react. At least that's true until the range upgrade kicks in. I don't think Nestea ever saw that flea peeking, did he?
I'm not sure.
Oh wait, did he?
Hold on, let me look at... Where's the structures tab? That's a new one in Harvest Storm.
If he saw the fleet beacon, I mean, the research is almost done. If he saw that, then why would he keep going mutas? Because
he's Nestea.
He just loves... Oh, double Spire! Second Spire's on the way.
He's like, you know what? Challenge accepted, man. I don't care you're directly countering me. I'm making more and more mutas. I'm even upgrading them. Come at me, bro, is what Nestea's saying.
I don't know. You know what, though? Creator Prime is so confident that he wouldn't go mutas that Creator's just making Void Rays.
Yeah, he's got to go back into Phoenix production. He just spotted that amazing flock from Nestea. 25 mutas in total. And let's see what he makes after those 3 Void Rays. That's going to be pretty instrumental as far as how this game is going to continue. 9 more mutas in production for Nestea. Make that 10. A Queen feeling very brave, trying to take on the entire Protoss army. Not going to work out for her, unfortunately. She's going to burn to ashes there.
11 more mutas. And you know, Creator keeps getting more and more Void Rays.
Okay, once Void Rays scale up, is it okay versus... I mean, I'm trying to think.
They're okay. It's actually fairly cost even.
Because isn't that a theory like mass Void Rays beats anything?
That is a theory. And it is kind of true, except for the fact that Nestea has more gas income. And Phoenixes beat mutas by more, especially with that range upgrade. Okay, now he's adding more and more Phoenixes. As long as he keeps a good number of Phoenixes with him, he should be fine. His Void Rays do tank damage pretty well. But these mutas might just keep hitting his economy to the point where he's going to have a really hard time developing and expanding across the map. Meanwhile, while this is going on, there's actually a bunch of speedlings over. They're going to cancel this base, but the main story is the air battle.
Maybe we can get some picture-in-picture going on. I'm watching the third base here. The mutas trying to take down these Void Rays from Creator. Creator getting enough units out there to eventually deflect this aggression. And it looks like Nestea's Zergling is going to eventually back away from the third. Meanwhile, we have Zealots charging into the 5th base there of Nestea, dicing away the drones, preventing that additional gas income. And Nestea forced to remake a lot of drones, continuing to make those mutas, and Creator going straight back into that Phoenix production.
I don't know how well the mutas are going to do. I mean, if you can significantly outmine your opponent, they can do okay. But that's just not true anymore. Creator's got his 4th base up now. Nestea's 5th was under fire. And Creator's moving across the map to try to end the game right now. The good news is the rally distance is far away.
All right, does Creator have enough? Nestea's still making exclusively mutas and lings. Is this the right decision? Can he even do anything else? 1 mutalisk, 2 lings, going to get caught off guard there. Creator wondering, okay, where should I attack? Doesn't want to split up his units. Another muta getting taken out. And Nestea is just going to counterattack with a bunch of lings across the map. Does not want to engage this army head on just yet.
I don't really blame him for the counterattack. I mean, that army is very strong, but if he can take out the Stargate production, then eventually get enough mutas to overwhelm the force, that's his only chance of coming back into this game. He's got to keep his rally mutas safe, though, make them rejoin the flock, and he's got to totally obliterate the defenses at home. But the Phoenixes,
yeah,
with a 7 range, they can easily micro around these mutas. They're going to just destroy Nestea's counterattack.
Yeah, there's the GG from Nestea, realizing his only chance there was to get a ridiculous amount of damage done, kill his opponent with the mutas and lings at the end of the game there. but because he had no answer to that base, to that army composition from Creator. And if we're talking about the story of that game, it was pretty much Nestea, again, scouting his opponent's 3 Stargates, scouting the fleet beacon, seeing, okay, my opponent's making a lot of Phoenixes, a lot of air units, feeling very confident with his Mutalisk Micro, feeling very confident in the more powerful mutas in Heart of the Swarm, but he kept making those mutas, but it didn't work out for him.
No, it doesn't. I mean, mutas are pretty much great against Storm now with their regeneration ability. They're really good at harassing ground-based Protoss. They still can't take on, that Phoenix composition, even with a few Void Rays mixed in. You really need to add in, maybe some Infestors, maybe some Swarm Hosts and Queens to deal with. Swarm Hosts could deal with the ground, while Queen and Infestor. Queens are actually really good against Void Rays and Phoenix, especially backed up by a couple Infestors. So you need to mix up that composition a little bit. So much gas into mutas, and they just got picked apart.
I feel like both of those players had game plans going into that game, as far like late game plans. So not a lot of adjusting they want to do, because we saw Creator go for that Stargate opening, get that 3rd, and then immediately add on 2 Stargates, and seemingly it wasn't a reaction to the Muta play because he hadn't scouted the Spire. So that's exactly what he wanted to do throughout. On the side of things, Nestea opening up with the mutas, and then he eventually added on a 2nd Spire, and he just kept charging up that muta production. I think mutas are great on Whirlwind, right? It's a huge map. You can take a lot of bases everywhere, get a lot of harassment done. There's a decent amount of airspace, but I think that game was just a result of both players being very stern, being very stubborn. That's what I was looking for with what builds they wanted to go for, and ultimately, Creator, his build pretty much directly countered Nestea's.
It did. If you both go in, Protoss is going to win. Zerg has to. I mean, the first Mutaflock did good. It killed a lot of probes.
Yes.
It traded decently versus their army. He just had to remax and something different.
Yep. All right, guys, that concludes Game 2 of this best of 5. Currently, Creator is up 2-0. Nestea has some work to do. I think he has the ability to come back. Of course, he is Nestea, so no reason to go anywhere. Game 3 coming up.